Alright, let's cover version 4.0, aka 1.17.50. You can see that the About Your Tesla, which is accessed by hitting the Tesla logo at the top center of the screen. It tells me that I'm running that particular version, and one of the things that's new to this version is this release notes link here. This gives you an indexed what's new. You can scroll through, and you can also select any one of these links and go back to the top if you want. So what I'm going to do here, because there is so much new in the car, is I'm going to go through each one of these in order so I don't miss anything, because I'm sure I would otherwise. So the first thing that's new is vehicle sleep. So what you'll be able to do, and I'm not going to read through all of this. There is a PDF online, and there are some photos of the screen on the TeslaMotorsClub.com forums, which you can find in the Model S forum under the firmware update thread. So keep displays powered is basically this vehicle sleep concept, and basically saves power. So that's in the controls settings, and displays. Right, yeah, I'm looking at the wrong place. So bottom left hand side, keep displays powered. If you turn that on, which would go back to the old method, gives you a little warning saying, are you sure it's going to consume 8 miles per day? And it also says it will reduce the life of your 12-volt battery and vehicle electrical systems. When the battery is low, the displays will power off 30 minutes after the car is turned off. Yes or no, and there you have it. So after the update was installed, it was defaulting to off, which would be new behavior for the car. And the other thing that what that does is, so after the car has been idle for 2 hours, it shuts the displays down. And what I have not demoed, and maybe what I can do at some point, is as you approach the car, at least with the key fob, and you have that turned on, or when you unlock the car, get in, whatever it is to sort of wake up the car, the displays will begin booting, and that's noticeably, visibly different, and I haven't timed how long that takes and that sort of thing, so maybe I'll take a separate video of that. But in any case, that's what that's all about. The app launcher. So what's different here is that instead of my previous tip where so I don't have navigation up, where you could, for instance, if you want to put navigation down in the bottom panel, you used to be able to sort of drag and drop the icon or almost flick it down. That's no longer the case. What they've done here is you press and hold the button, and now you can see there's the 2 panes showing up, so you can drag it to the lower pane or the top pane. Right? If you drag it away, you can actually sort of cancel it. But if you do this, now I've got it down there. If you press it again, what it does is now toggles for apps that support it. It toggles between full screen and half screen mode. Right. Release notes, that's this thing. Voice commands, this one's fun, right? So I'm actually going to go to this. There are basically 3 types or sets of commands. One for music, one for navigation, and the third one is for calling one of your contacts in your phone. So what you're going to do to actually use that is to press and hold the top button, the voice button here, and in the center, in the instrument cluster, you'll see a message about preparing, processing, recording, what it's sort of up to. But you do have an audio cue for that as well, so it's not like you need to stare down at that. So what I'm going to do here is I should probably actually know the name of a song that I want to play. So For instance, if I look at my history, I previously, when I was testing this, I played Brian Wilson by Barenaked Ladies, so that's what I'm going to ask it to do. So I'm also, the other thing I'm going to do is get media off the screen so you can see what that's like. Play Brian Wilson by Barenaked Ladies. So it comes up, and basically what it does is execute a Slacker search. So I've got a list of possible artists, list of songs, and a list of albums. So I'm able to say, all right, Brian Wilson by Barenaked Ladies, that's the song I wanted, give it a click, and it's going to start playing. There we go. Notice the media app did not come up, but if we go to it, you can see that's what it did. Similarly, we can do navigation. So let's say we can do like navigate to Target in Dorchester. Navigate to Target in Dorchester. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what it does since this little dialog box is up. Yeah, so it is down here. Let's make that full, swap that so you can see it. So Target in Dorchester is the first selection, and if that's what I actually want to do, press it. And I'll get the navigate options. So there's still sort of a confirmation to the voice command you gave that you have to do here. So I'm going to cancel that. And the last thing is calling somebody. So I could do call Tesla roadside assistance. Select a contact. Tesla assistance, Tesla service, so Tesla assistance. It brings up the contact, so you still have to press and get it to actually call it. It won't actually do it. And that covers voice commands. Auto-presenting door handles, there's a separate video about that, but there is an option around that, so auto-present handles on or off. That's in the controls settings vehicle. Auto present handles on or off. And what that will do is as you walk up to the car, with the key fob in your pocket, the car will unlock and all four handles will extend. The alarm, relatively self-explanatory. I haven't actually used it yet, but you can turn it on or off. I have not personally tried it. I'm not going to try it now. It's too late, and there are too many people upstairs who would get ticked off at me. The metric distance unit. So you have the ability now to switch between miles and kilometers, and that does affect everything in the car. So let's go to controls, settings, vehicle, units and format rather, distance, miles and kilometers. So the places this is going to affect, my speedometer, my projected range is going to change, the analog is going to, speedometer is going to change, the digital speedometer is going to change, the energy meter both in the instrument cluster and on the center console will change. So the energy app, if we bring that up, along the x-axis we have miles, the watt hours. On the y-axis we have watt hours per mile, and the projected range is in miles, and the size of the x-axis. We can change between 5, 15, and 30 miles. So all of that will change with this particular setting. Change that to kilometers. Now, so the watt hours per kilometer here, projected range is in kilometers. X-axis is currently in 50 kilometers, so I can change between 10, 25, and 50. My projected range over here, 386 kilometers. Digital speedometers, kilometers per hour. The analog speedometer is also in kilometers per hour, and of course the energy meter, which is essentially a mirror of this, is also in kilometers. My odometer has changed to kilometers as well. I forgot to mention that was in miles before. That is also properly affected. And since I am in the good old US of A, I'm going to put that back to miles. And back to release notes. Range driving mode. Basically, this is just a toggle switch in control settings vehicle. Now, this says, unlike the Roadster, where range mode gave you access to the bottom 10% of the battery and limited the amount of power you could draw, and also changed the mapping of the throttle. This is very different. The meaning is very different. According to the release notes, it says climate control will be limited, so Model S cabin heating and cooling may be less effective, and the seat heaters will turn on to compensate for the restricted cabin heating. And that's just a little switch under controls, settings, and vehicle for range mode over here. So if we select on, it says range mode will save energy by reducing climate control power, heating or cooling. The cabin may be less effective. Do you want to switch yes or no? And you can just toggle it. Under enhancements on the right here, we have synchronized door handles. So all door handles now present and retract in unison. Previously, a handle on a particular door would retract soon after that door was closed without retracting the other handles. Now all handles will remain extended for 1 minute after the last door closes. And thus far, I know this question came up, with respect to the auto present handles, or even when you unlock the car, all handles extend. There doesn't appear to be an option to make it suggest the driver's side door handle presents and unlocks. I assume that will come in an update, but I am not currently aware of a way to do that right now. USB media browsing. I don't have a USB stick here with music on it, but that has been enhanced, and you can read all about what's new, organization by folders and that sort of thing, so it's easier to get around. Alphabetical index. This affects both the media and phone apps. So if we go into my phone under contacts, so my contact list shows here, but now we have the alphabet on the right hand side, which we can use to quickly skip to the various letters in my contacts. Right. So if you can see on what's going on the screen here. Right, and that works very much the same way if you've got USB media inserted. Calling from maps. Actually, we sort of just saw that earlier, but if we go back to navigation and search for interesting. So of course that makes perfect sense. If you enter in an address, there's no phone number associated with it. Let's say Target in Dorchester was my previous search. So now that there's a place involved, if we select that place, there's a navigate to it as well as call, because there is a phone number associated with it. So this button is new. Steering wheel controls, fan speed, and sunroof. So we will bring up sunroof. So press and hold. I'm sorry, not press and hold. Let's get out of that. If you tap the bottom button, you get the customize press customize, and now what you have on the list of things that you can set this scroll wheel to is all, climate temps, which was there before, fan speed, display brightness was there before, sunroof is new, and media source. So if we start with all, then when I scroll the wheel here, the first thing I have is it turns into basically a multi-level menu. So now it's saying, well, what do you want to, what function do you want to choose? So climate, temps, fan speed, whatever. So I can scroll around to what I want to mess with. Let's scroll to fan speed, and now if I move the scroll wheel around, I'm controlling the fan speed. If I press the scroll wheel while I'm on the fan speed setting, it will toggle. It'll go back to auto mode. And the other thing that so you can also, of course, directly set fan speed. So if you just scroll, it immediately changes the fan speed or the center for auto. And then sunroof is the other new thing. So scroll to the position you want, let go. This moves to 60, and the sunroof will open. And if you press it, you toggle between vent and close. And that covers that feature. So under HomeLink, location awareness. Now you'll see my HomeLink icon here is green. That's because it realizes I'm within the vicinity of one of my pre-programmed HomeLink locations. I'm assuming it's doing that via GPS. What happens though is as you're driving up to the location, this will turn green and the menu will drop down at the same time. So as you approach your garage, you no longer have to sort of fumble around and hit that little home icon and then hit your particular setting. That menu will just be there, ready to go, and you can press it, and magic happens. The energy app. I'm going to skip that for just one sec. The throttle response, there's no demo that I can do here, and at this point I can't comment on it. I haven't actually been paying attention to it, so but I'm sure I'll have some comments on that once I feel what the difference is there. So let's touch the last item here, and that's the energy app. And this is a pretty big change. If you own the car, or if you've become familiar with the old energy app from like my previous video, this is completely different. So what we're looking at here right now is a number of different things. The solid line, and I'm not sure how clearly this is going to show through in the video here, but the solid line represents the rated range for the car if you have the vehicle units and format set to rated. If I change the range display from rated to ideal, now that is also a change. This used to be rated and projected, now it's rated and ideal. Sorry. This basically rated is the EPA 5 cycle, 265 mile on a full range mode charge. Ideal will be the EPA 2 cycle, 300 mile range on a range mode charge. Changing this, it changes the display in the instrument cluster. And if we go back to here, this gray line, the solid gray line here, is now below the 300 watt-hour per mile grid line, and it now says ideal over here. It's a little bit obscured by the graph. You can sort of see it better here, but so it says ideal here. So it does change this as well, and there is no way I'm going to leave that to ideal. Rated is a little bit more realistic, so now the solid gray line is back to saying rated, and that is just above the 300 watt-hour per mile mark. My guess is it's about 308 watt-hours per mile. And so no longer are you able to tap on the screen to adjust whether it's 5, 15, or 30. You'll need to press these in order to switch between those, and of course the energy meter on the instrument cluster will mirror that setting. New to a number of things that are new is this a concept of the projected range that shows up on the right here, and the ability to switch between average and instant. So right now I've now got this set to average. So the dotted line, a horizontal line here, which says my average watt-hours per mile is 353, equates to a projected range of 208 miles, and I have 240 rated miles at the moment. So this is based on the average that's showing on the screen. Also, a change is that this projected range, this average, will change when you change the graph. So between 5, 15, and 30 miles. So if I change this to 5, my projected range based on the last 5 miles of my driving is 248, because my average watt-hours per mile was 296, and of course that changes when you select 15 and back to 30. If I pick something that gives us a little bit more of a difference between the end of the orange line here with this little yellow circle, so that sort of this is sort of your instant reading. I believe this is the last tenth of a mile of your driving. So if I change this to instant, you'll notice that this projected range moved from down here where it says 248. It's pointing at the dotted line. It moves up to the end of the orange line, and it says 137 miles. So based on that instant of power usage, I would be, if I maintained that, I would be 137 miles of range. So that's what that's all about. And the one thing to notice, and I have given Tesla feedback about this, because, well, two things. Because this app replaces there were two ways to get at this. Under controls trips, there used to be a line that had 2 points on it, one with rated range and one with projected range. I used to use that all the time to keep track of how I'm doing. Good for long distance trips. That doesn't exist in there anymore, and it also does not exist in the instrument cluster anymore. That option has been removed from here. So I'd be okay with that if I could see the projected range that's on the energy meter here also up on the instrument cluster. This number, for some reason, maybe doesn't fit particularly well or whatever it is, it doesn't show up on the instrument cluster. The average watt-hour per mile does, 353, but the projected range doesn't. I would love to have the projected range and the rated range show up in the instrument cluster. Then I basically don't need this up on the 17-inch touchscreen in general, so it frees up a panel, because what I normally like to do is drive around with my media and my navigation up, and then on the instrument cluster I'll have I could have my energy meter up, and I basically have all the information I need, so I don't have to context switch and be like, I wonder what my projected range is right now, and then I got to go back and forth between energy and media. So that's one bit of feedback that I have about that change. I was certainly, when I was first presented with that new energy meter, I was almost upset about the change. And you do need to sort of let it go a little bit and give it its chance. I think it's actually a great enhancement, because it gives you a lot more information than you had before in a more consumable way, in my opinion. And if we could just get that one little bit of information to show up in the instrument cluster, I'll be back to sort of not only where I was, but I think in an even better place than I was before. And I think that actually is it for version 4. As always, feel free to ask questions. Again, TeslaMotorsClub.com. The forums, go into the Model S forum and find the thread about the firmware revision for where this is a discussion around 1.17.50. The video link will be posted there. I'm on there as Cinergy, spelled Cinergi, and feel free to ask questions there. I do pay attention to the comments on YouTube, so feel free to ask questions right here on YouTube as well, and I'll do my best to reply or take more video by request. So that's it. Let me just make sure there's nothing else I wanted to cover. I think that's it. All right. Well, that concludes this session.